in the main stage chat, and it's also in the DoraHacks information page and all of the developer resources. And we're going to walk you through our DoraHacks page today and through some of the documentation that we think is going to be helpful on your developer journey. We launched today and we are going through March 3rd, and the hackathon culminates in the IRL ETH Denver hackathon. So we're actually going to have a hacker house on the ground in Denver, and if anyone's there and you've been working on your projects, we'd more than love for you to join us out there in Denver IRL to meet in person. But if not, we're super excited to see what you're going to be building throughout the course of this month, and we will make sure to have mentors who can provide assistance and guidance throughout the entire length of the process. I'll pass it over to Patrick and Secret Saturn to take it from here.
So, hi everyone. My name is Alex, and Sean already introduced me as Secret Saturn, which is correct. You can also. So yeah, I'm the other part of the dev team at the Secret Network Foundation, and let's jump right into it. Secret. So the go-to place for basically all of the hackathon is going to be DoraHacks. So that's basically like your truth, and you plan basically where the times are, where the workshops are going to be, submissions and everything. Let me just quickly share my screen. I can exactly show you this one here, and exactly. So let's go through it one by one, and let me show you what we need. So as we've basically said, we have over 1 month we can hack all together, and we're going to culminate in Denver. Of course, it's not mandatory in any way to be attending in Denver, but of course, speak to us. We're happy to help you out. We already happen to be in Denver for ETH Denver. So, for our second iteration of HackSecret in 2024, this time, last time we basically focused more on IBC and snake apps. Well, this year basically the whole hackathon moves a bit more into the EVM space. So with Secret introducing the Secret EVM toolkit, which I can show you here, which is this toolkit that I'm going to go into later on. We essentially can do a lot of stuff on any EVM chains using Secret, and using the whole idea of privacy as a service on other chains, not only for Secret, but for example IBC enabled chains or on EVM chains using multiple technologies that we have right now for it, so multiple bridging solutions. So first of all, for the overview, that's roughly what we're going to do. So we're catering multiple different devs, Cosmos devs, and EVM devs, of course both, if you like to do both. So let's get going. What's the schedule now for the hackathon? So essentially, we will have a lot of workshops. So first of all, of course, that's the first kickoff call that we have today here, the hackathon, beginning. And we'll have several workshops. One is made by Sean Rad. So the DevRel basically did the introduction just right now, which gives you like introduction to private cross-chain voting. Then we have a very huge development team on Secret, which is a Shade protocol. They have a huge suite of a lot of DeFi primitives that are living on Secret natively. They're also giving a workshop, and they also have a bounty, which I'm going to go into later. Then I'm going to do a workshop on February the 13th, which is for cross-chain randomness. Then we will have a perfect pitch deck workshop. And together with some others from GovDAO, we will have a legal and compliance workshop for privacy. And then we will basically have a different workshop basically just after some time has passed. So roughly around just about 3 weeks from here now, we basically together in the DevRels, and the bounty sponsors are going to do a project review with everyone if they like to. You can present stuff to us, you can ask us questions, whatever, and then we can feedback on it, see if it's a good idea to pursue certain things or not, and so on. And then basically what happens in parallel is that going on from February the 26th around about that time. The whole Secret Network Foundation DevRel team is at Denver, so scattered across events, but essentially we're like all in Denver. And if you happen to be there as well, anyways, for example, for some for Denver, or maybe for Atom Denver Squared, whatever you might want to do there. Have a hacker house open as well, and you can also, of course, are encouraged to come by. Of course, this is not obligatory in any way. This is no requirement, but you of course can come by and get help, or we just get some more ideas, whatever. Then on March 3rd, so around, let's say, 4.5 weeks from now, end of submission time, and submissions are due at that point. And after that, we're going to judge them as fast as we can. Of course, do the due diligence, obviously. And after that, we can announce the winners. So, roundabout for the schedule. Questions on the schedule, please. Someone has done any specifics they want to know there? If not, then if you have questions later on, please just interrupt me, ask me for it. But I will just move on to the next thing, which is, I think that's the most important things, are the tracks and the price distributions. First one is question privacy. The idea behind it is we're basically going into 2 tracks. One of them is question privacy, one of them is a native secret app. Of course, we're not losing our roots to being a layer chain on Cosmos that still has and still will be the golden point for privacy preserving dApps. But of course, pushing into the privacy as a service narrative, of course, we want to also push cross-chain privacy. So first, let's get to the native secret dApp as a simpler one. So the idea behind it is this is for dApps that are built natively on secret networks. So they're basically using only secret network frameworks, as native smart contracts, and also secret shares, for example. So basically, essentially the whole dApp is inside of secret network, and it's not going into chains outside of it. Of course, what you could maybe do is important is part of secret. If you have more questions about it, let's say in a specific implementation, and you might want to know, is this native secret, or is this only cross-chain? Ask us, and we can give some idea. Let's say categorize it. Then, so I think that one is quite obvious. So, for example, you can, put a message in there that exclusively uses secret smart contracts and the secret JavaScript library, secret shares. Depends on you what you want to do. Tons of possibilities to do, especially in the DeFi space. We have a lot of nice stuff that we have some ideas for. We have some ideas that we have, or we'd like to have more easily, ask in Discord, in the support groups and everything. And then this is basically the bigger track that we have right now, to push privacy service out into the EVM world, which is cross-chain privacy. And the idea behind it is that dApps that are submitted this way basically implements some sort of cross-chain privacy, and they use secret smart contracts to do it. And what we can do now is, with our toolkit that we developed over the time and made usable for EVM devs. The idea behind it is that we have secret contracts that are fully executable on EVM chains through the use of general message passing. So there are multiple solutions, for example, Axelar GP and SnakePath that we have available right now as well. SnakePath is also a solution that I will quickly go into when we look at the docs. And developers, that are building on Ethereum, on any EVM, it doesn't need to be Ethereum, right? It could be of course, any sidechain like Polygon, or any other, like Arbitrum, Optimism, whatever you may like. Doesn't matter. Any EVM chain can execute smart contract in secret, and vice versa. So of course, we can also do callbacks. Of course, we can do some computation on Ethereum smart contract or EVM in any EVM space, EVM smart contract. Have a result. You want to execute something, then you can send it into secret. In secret, you can do your private, private or confidential computation, however you want to name it, and then set the result back to your EVM contract. And that way, you can pass messages in any way that you like, and do any computation that you want. Essentially, just slapping privacy or confidentiality on top of it, if you like. So for example, you have an app that stores encrypted data on Polygon, and you encrypt it with a secret smart contract afterwards. So for example, you have some encrypted blobs and key that you like to encrypt, whatever you like, or like some message, or like a link to a document, or whatever it may be. Or you may like to do some voting, or you know, there's like so many things you can possibly, even encrypted NFTs, for example, you can do like some sort of like NFT that might have some encrypted metadata. If you want to do something interesting with it, for example, like this is just one idea, and you can do whatever you want. As it wants to be, privacy enables you to do that. Yeah. You have a question or not? Okay. Let's see. Then let's go on. It's muting for a sec. Okay, because it's Microsoft. Okay, so the good question is, since we have two tracks, how's the price between them are going to be distributed? And one, we basically have two tracks, as we said. So the main price is for the main price is basically $8,000 that come from Secret Labs and the Secret Network Foundation, and essentially 2/3 of it are reserved for the cross-chain privacy track, with a bit more emphasis on it, and $3,000 are reserved for a native secret dApp track. Now for the bounty, side bounty that we also have, that is coming from Shade Protocol. Shade Protocol is a native. Okay, it's not. Okay, I need to go to the real address then, to the other one. Anyways, for Shade Protocol at least, they're offering up a $5,000 bounty, and the only thing that you essentially need to do is you need to implement. Okay, let's see. So for Shade Protocol, this is their dApp, and they're completely living in secret and using secret smart contracts to the maximum that they can. And the idea behind it is, for this hackathon, obviously, if you want to get the Shade Protocol bounty, to implement their JS library, which we can happily answer your questions to, because I'm actually also using Shade.js for quite some things. It's a super easy to use a library that allows you to quickly pull data from their tools, and for example, also to use some other stuff, like for example, querying a lot of tokens at once, like a lot of interesting and super usable, easy to use tools you can implement as dev to make your life easier, essentially, when you're working with Secret, especially when you're in DeFi. So the idea behind it is, this is one of the bounties, and then another bounty is for projects that have at least one team member or more. I think it should be like a bit more than this, but minimum one. They are eligible for another $2,000 bounty. So out of this $2,000 bounty is for these projects. And basically, you have these two bounties. So what I would recommend personally is, for example, if you like to put in some bounty, for example, for native secret dApp track, you might maybe think about using Shade, for example, some way to tie it in. But if you maybe go to the cross-chain privacy track, you can also do something with team members that you can assemble today, or some from Africa, maybe, if you like to include them in the team and get to be eligible for the bounty. Oh yes, requirements for submission are pretty lengthy. I wouldn't go too much into this exact details. I'd rather just, most important thing is you first need to submit the stuff via DoraHacks.io, so the page here that we have. So the page that basically contains all of the information for the hackathon. I would just, for the submission expectations, I would just tell you basically to read through. And if you have questions about the specifics about this, just ask us. I think that's the best way to do it. You can, clearly answer the questions afterwards. I think that's one of the most important stuff. Anything else you have questions on, or Sean, you might want to add something? Just depends if you like to.
I think that covers it.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe we could just walk through some of the EVM documentation so everyone knows what exists now.
Yeah, good point. That's exactly what I wanted to do anyways. But now after that we got these questions out of the way, we can go to the developer resources. We can kind of touch on, right? Let's just, I think the best way to get started is, of course, to getting started with Secret. So we have a lot of extensive documentation on a lot of things. Of course, is interacting with Secret itself. And of course, we have a separate page for the EVM developer toolkit as well. And we're building this out basically every day. So you might you come by one day afterwards and stuff was out, for example. So there's a lot of interesting stuff that we can show here. Sean, do you want to take over?
Sure. Are you going to keep screen sharing and then we'll go through the docs, or?
No, if you go in that case. Let's go through this direction, but let me know when you're ready. Anyways, now basically we have a lot of things that you can do that you have as resources. So the whole docs, of course, are resource, obviously. Then for the bounty shade protocol, we have the shade.js documentation available as well. Of course, we have a lot of nice examples. With everything that you can do, it's a bit more DeFi focused. So in that way, if you do more in DeFi or need to do more stuff with queries, you can already use that. Perfect. Sean is up, so I can give it over to him.
Do we prefer light mode or dark mode?
I think dark mode probably for everyone. Otherwise, our eyes burn out.
Your preference. Yeah. So these are Secret Networks docs. This is the best place to learn everything you want to do with Secret. If you are an EVM developer who's never worked with Rust before with Secret smart contracts, I think the best start is this in development, this getting started tab. And here's this like setting up your environment, compile and deploy. This is all for people who are more familiar with Rust, I would say. If you're someone who's like comfortable with Solidity and JavaScript, I would go to this interacting with the network tab. And this teaches you how to just compile a secret contract and upload it and instantiate it with really simple JavaScript script. The last thing I want is for anyone to feel like you don't know what's happening because there's something like Docker or Make. I don't know, just things that are more familiar to the Cosmos community that might be less familiar to the EVM community. And if you have any questions about that, just post in Discord and somebody from our team will be sure to get back to you and help you get started. But yes, so this is a great place to just like, if you've never worked with secret contracts before, this will teach you how to get your development environment up and running, how to compile your first contract, get it instantiated. And there's also a full stack dApp repo here, which teaches you, kind of just shows like a React app in TypeScript if you're curious how to get that cooking. And then down here is where we have the Ethereum developer toolkit. So as Alex was just saying, there are really 3 pieces to the EVM toolkit. We're really excited about this. So the 3 pieces of the toolkit, what we have is the first is, it's just Axelar general message passing. So you might have heard of Axelar before. A lot of people know Axelar is a way to send tokens cross-chain, but there's also something you can do, which is actually execute smart contracts that do more than just send tokens. And so this first piece of this tutorial will teach you how to upload a Polygon contract, which can execute a secret network smart contract, and vice versa, how to use a secret contract to be able to execute a Polygon contract with general message passing. So if you've never worked with cross-chain contracts before, this is a really good place to start to kind of teach you the basics using Axelar GMP. And it's really fun, really exciting if you've only ever been on one chain before. The second piece of the EVM toolkit is our shared secret cryptography. So the whole point of this piece, the second piece, is that most EVM chains are public by default. Everything you do on chain is public to everyone. It's public knowledge. And what this teaches you how to do is, with any EVM chain you can imagine, you can now encrypt all messages that go on chain. And the only way those messages can be decrypted is with a secret network smart contract. So this teaches you how to do that for any message of your choosing. And there's also a full stack private voting developer tutorial that also shows how to use that code in a hands-on manner. And thirdly, we have a new RNG solution at Secret Network called SnakePath RNG. And SnakePath is a bridging system that we've developed at Secret Network that Secret Saturn, Alex, who is here, has done a lot of amazing work on. And he will be your go-to genius if anyone has questions. But right now, if you go to those docs, to the SnakePath RNG docs, and you go right here to the developer tutorial, if you're a super Chad and you want to understand the architecture, you can do all of that. You can do a deep dive, and we also have the white paper linked right here. But if you're someone who just wants to get up and running with RNG, having truly on-chain verifiable random numbers that are faster and cheaper than using Chainlink RNG, for example, this is the documentation for you. If you go through this, you will learn how to, in fewer than 100 lines of code, be able to call random numbers in a Polygon smart contract. And if you want to learn how to do that for other chains, we have these other gateway contracts here. So it's literally just the difference of plug and play with different proxy gateway or gateway contract addresses. So like if you wanted to do this for Sepolia, for example, or for Base Sepolia, or for Arbitrum, you could do that instead of Polygon Mumbai. But that's the basics for our EVM toolkit and our getting started documentation. And if anyone has any questions, please just speak now, or you don't have to forever hold your peace. You can immediately spam the chat and somebody will help you immediately. Right, no questions. Again, and if you do have questions, you'll see that in this HackSecret tab on Discord, there's a main chat where you can post questions, and also a lot of developers in our community post questions in the dev discussion tab underneath developers corner. So just, I'm sure as questions arise, that's the best place to post those questions. Should we just open it up to general questions now, Alex? What do you think?
Yeah, sounds about the right time. Let's just go. Bombard us.
All right. Somebody in the chat asked, ironically, what is this light mode you speak of? Sounds awful.
Yeah. I personally would recommend using dark mode especially if you're in a hackathon. Guys, just don't burn your eyes out early. That's just my general recommendation. What else? Anything specific about the tech, about the docs that you might want to need? Yeah, exactly. Also, very good point. Yes, lighter track. Yep, very good point. I can attest to that. Yeah. Aside from this, I think right now, just for the kickoff call, I think you should, for the main ideas, just get intimate with the docs, read through a bit, look a bit through, and then see what could be interesting for your project. Maybe you have some idea for a project and you're not sure if it's possible to pull off with Secret. Good idea would be to just ask us, because then we can tell you, well, this is feasible, this is not feasible, and that way we can give you some guidance on whether this makes sense for you to do or not. Also, since a lot of the stuff since contracts are Rust based, of course there's going to be like EVM devs need help with Rust contracts, so we're happy to help you out with this. I think most EVM devs don't need to do like a whole lot of Rust anyways. And of course, since the inception of GPT-4, you will have a lot easier time to pull this off anyways. And in case there's like a lot of questions, please just ask me, ask Sean, ask Patrick, yes, we also have some inspiration for ideas. Very good point. We have some ideas. For example, this is actually some very nice stuff. Yep. These are some ideas. Just in general, even you could potentially even just even ask ChatGPT if you really like to. This is just as a dumb thought, but it actually works. So just try to gather some ideas from this here. if you like, you can also ask us. If you have like you think it's a crazy idea, just ask us. Like there's no limit to this, I'd say.
Yes, and also check this link that I'm dropping right now.
Yeah.
These are some open source dApps that are currently built on Secret Network, and some of them showcase the source code. So if you want to see how to work with secret contracts, see how we got front ends connected to our contracts, that's a good place to look.
Yeah, indeed. Sean or who? Possible to create two. I mean, there's really nothing preventing it, to be honest.
But if you do, you have to secure your identity privately with secret contracts. That's the only caveat.
Yeah, I mean, just potentially, like, there's this. I mean, you could possibly apply for both tracks, but the thing is, obviously, that the stuff has to be like at least, you need to pick at least. Is it a secret native dApp or is it like cross-chain privacy dApp? So it's like that's one of the problems. Oh, that's nice from you, son. Yeah. Thanks a lot for. So I think it should be possible to do two projects really, but they need to be like, they're gonna be separated. So there's like separate projects, obviously, and then yeah.
Yeah. Also, this is major alpha, kind of like what you're able to build with contracts, like because this is totally brand new in terms of what we're bringing to the EVM. So much of privacy on the EVM right now is limited by ZKs, but this gives you completely composable smart contracts. Any idea you can imagine, you can just encrypt that on the EVM and then decrypt with secret contracts. So it's just like it totally opens the floodgates to whatever you want to do. And these docs are brand new. This tech is like brand new. All of this is just getting pushed like as we speak. So really excited to see what everybody builds.
Yeah. Also, in upcoming days, I'm also uploading more docs on SnakePath and what you can do with it. Especially for SnakePath, for example, you can also use it to do encrypted payloads. So I think this could be super interesting for some projects. I think in the first 2 days, you can try to gather some good ideas, flesh out some ideas, and ask us if it's a working one. So, for example, SnakePath also has kind of a similar abilities as Axelar GMP has. Not exactly the same one, but you can also use encrypted payloads, to do some computations. And we also have some examples that I'm going to upload today and tomorrow that you can use to build your privacy preserving dApp in that way. So yeah, a lot of interesting stuff that you can do, a lot of ideas that you can try to bring into the world. Yeah. And of course, yeah. If it's completely two separate ones, that should work, I guess. Yeah. But of course, they're also completely separate. They are completely judged separately, basically for each track separately. So yeah. More questions, guys?
If you need help finding the team, there's a looking for team tab in the HackSecret channel as well. So that's a good place to just post like what projects you're working on or what your idea is and what you need for a teammate. And we also have like back channels, I suppose, where we could like share that as well.
Yeah.
And the main thing I would say, like somebody in the chat said they're a total noob. Welcome, total noob. We love having you here. My experience, the way I fell into Web3 was by being a total noob at an ETH New York hackathon, where I was embarrassed to even be there because I was around all these devs, and I felt like I was going to bring my team down. But it was like one of the greatest learning experiences of my entire life because you just get thrown into the fire. And there's nothing more rewarding than actually building a dApp. That's the best possible way to learn anything. It's just to have an idea and just to decide that by brute force, you are going to get it done by a certain deadline. So I know everyone who's here, if you just stick to this, you're going to be totally capable because we have a lot of mentors and resources to help you through. And don't be afraid to ask any and all questions because there's so many devs here who have just varying ranges of experience who will help you out. All right. Well, if there's no further questions, excited to see you guys in the chat. And we have our first live developer workshop kicking off next Tuesday. It's a private voting workshop. We're going to be going through the voting documentation and how to use that, which hopefully will inspire some ideas for your own dApps. But in the meantime, just keep building away and post in the HackSecret main chat. If you're looking for a team, whatever you need, we will be there to support you.
Let's just wait for 5 or 10 minutes maybe, and then I think we can close the kickoff and get all of you started with hacking. Let's just wait if you have more questions. And
This is the rosiest scenario. Right.
projects, find a team, whatever you like. If you have questions, please ask us. In the Discord, we specifically have a section for the hackathon. And with that, thanks for tuning in today, and see you at the next workshop next week.